Figure it out.
Howdy, howdy. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show with my sassy co-host, Greg Pepper.
So I am sassy. Hello, sassy. We've got new toys around here. We've been trying to upgrade the studio little by little. So we'll just people who have watched this show for 1,880 something episodes.
1,882.
Which I cannot recommend in good conscience.
That's a lot.
Probably don't know like how things work. So like for example, when we moved into this beautiful new studio with this beautiful new desk and stuff like that, you might have noticed that I stopped wearing the headphones and I started wearing, if you see, I have an earpiece in. That's there. I'm just fully, look at that. That's how I can hear Pickle. I'm just fully pulling back the curtain. Oh, geez. She's muting me now. But we have cool toys now where I was hardwired in, and now we have wireless comms. And so now I can hear Pickle without being plugged into anything like directly, like a cord. So that's been very good. So we're still figuring things out. We've got like a new soundboard and stuff like that. And that's why Pickle doesn't have the headset. Pickle does, in fact, have a top of her head. That's what you're seeing for the first time in years and years, is that she has a top of her head. Normally it's covered up by the headset. See? Look at that.
Yeah, most people don't know. I actually, I can wear, earrings now, which is ironic that I wore a big pair of earrings not knowing that this was going to be capable or possible today.
Mm-hmm.
But used to, I had to take them out because they hurt in the headphones.
Yeah, see? Everyone wins here. Okay. Pickle, I'd like to read you a story from the internet. I'm going to read you a story from the internet. I don't know if she can hear me.
I can hear
That's
you.
fine. Dateline.
Dateline!
Thank you. She's trying to figure stuff out. Eastdale, Scotland, where they host the World Stone Skimming Championships. Okay?
Stone skimming.
Skimming.
Like you're trying...
It's
skimming or skipping?
It's stone skipping,
Okay.
but this is from the BBC, and so...
Oh, it's skimming.
It's skimming. We can't be bothered to skip stones. It's going to be skimming stones.
Dumb.
The World Stone Skimming Championships have been rocked. Great. Tell me when you're throwing up the red flag.
Yep, rocked.
By a cheating scandal after several competitors were disqualified for tampering. More than 2,200 people from 27 countries attended this year's event. Rules state that the stones must come from naturally occurring island slate. However, some have been found to be ground into suspiciously circular shape to help them bounce in the water. Folks,
We've got rock cheaters.
we got cheaters. Were you around? I think you were around whenever we had that the fishing.
Oh
incident.
yeah. They put because that was a
We got weights in the fish.
That was a big conversation in the pickle household.
I'm sure.
Cheating on a fishing competition is about the worst sin that you can commit.
It's cardinal stuff. Yes, I would say that when it comes to stone skipping, if you are tampering with the rocks, that's about as bad as it gets. That's about as cardinal as it gets. It feels like that's the one thing you can't do, is mess with the rocks.
Well, because that's the only device.
Yeah, and if honestly, it's the best comp I can make would be, well, there's two. One is Deflategate, right, where they deflated the footballs to give them a better grip, and that is a proven thing that happened. By the way,
Tom
we
Brady.
don't talk about that enough with Tom Brady. He's a cheater. The other one would be like corking a bat in baseball, like.
Yeah.
If you're corking the bat, or
That's
you're
why they weigh them beforehand.
right, or if you are if you're putting like Vaseline on the baseball or something like that.
See, but I feel like it's almost even worse than those because, like, for instance, with baseball, like you do, I don't know, like you have to play defense. You know what I'm saying? Like same thing in football of like. If you tamper with the bats, but then your glove is fine. You know what I'm saying? Like there's multiple devices that you have to use in those sports, I feel like. And like with the rock skipping, let's call it skipping, all you have is the rock.
Entrants choose their own stones, and judges use a measuring device called the Ring of Truth
They had to have failed the Ring of Truth, correct?
to ensure that they are no bigger than 3 inches in diameter. Each competitor is allowed 3 skips, and stones must bounce at least twice on water before sinking. Well, duh, I would say. Dr. Kyle Matthews.
We should have him on.
We should. Told BBC Radio's, he's known as the Toss Master.
Oh, let's go.
Told BBC Radio's Good Morning Scotland that judges had heard rumors with a U and murmurings about some nefarious deeds. There was a little bit of stone doctoring, he said. He said that they were perfectly circular and fitted into our 3-inch measurer. What a remarkable, I mean, is nothing sacred? Is
Honestly,
nothing
it's
sacred.
almost impressive that they were able to get it perfectly circular.
Yeah, I mean, but like the rules, we deserve a world where we can actually know who is the best stone skipper in the world. I feel like I am an average stone skipper.
I'm pretty trash at stone skipping. I've never been good at it.
You've got to be able to drop like submarine style.
Yeah.
And throw it, and it's all about.
Are you good at throwing a frisbee? Let me. This is a pet peeve. It's not a frisbee.
No, it's a
It's
flying.
a disc.
It's a disc. Frisbee. It's
Frisbee's a brand. It's like Kleenex.
It's like Xerox. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
You want a tissue, but it doesn't have to be a Kleenex.
I am okay at throwing a frisbee.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I need to work on that. I got used to the flick of the wrist this way with basketball. The flick of the wrist this way. Well, and the other thing is too, like when you're golfing, like that's a big no-no. So I don't think my sideways flicking of the wrist is up to par, which is probably why I am a scone.
So you know what?
Stone
to
skipper.
the people who were caught cheating at the World Stone Skipping Championships, I declare you ineligible to be the Texas Football Today Listener of the Week.
Yeah, get good, cheaters.
At the Theme Expo. Here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show with technology. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the editor-in-chief of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you are watching us live at TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good, trying to figure out how all our new toys work. She is the Duchess of the Dorks. She's Ashley Pickle.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone does have to do it.
Hi, friends.
It ain't going to be me.
I don't have a headset.
Wow. I know. You don't have a headset, but you do have like one of my fancy microphones.
I do.
Do we have a microphone for our special in-studio guest later?
No. Yes.
Okie dokie. Who could possibly know? Today is Thursday, September 18th, 2025. 10 weeks to Thanksgiving.
Oh my goodness.
70 days. We are. I don't want to really like. Let me just put it to you this way. If you don't start getting ready now, you're going to be scrambling. You're going to be too late.
Yeah.
So just get ready now. Make it a point. Put it in.
And make it enjoyable.
Yeah.
If you're scrambling, it takes the fun out of it. You have to make it enjoyable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A happy birthday to, boy, I don't know any of these people.
Is it because you're old?
Oh, they're all like YouTube and TikTok stars.
I probably wouldn't know them either, to be honest with
Happy
you.
birthday to Jason Sudeikis, who was Ted Lasso.
Okay.
It is episode 1880-something. She told me
82.
earlier. That's the one. On today's show, folks, a big show. Big shows we get you ready for the week 4 of the Texas high school football season. We will start top 10 games of the week. Big slate of games across the state of Texas. Then we're going to be joined by one of the guys coaching one of those games. The head coach of the Stephenville Yellow Jackets, 3-0 state ranked. Coach Sterling Doty will join us as they have their first homecoming in their new stadium. We'll talk with him about that and other things about those Stephenville Yellow Jackets. Then We got Team Builder. We're going to be picking out players to watch in this week's Texas high school football action with a special guest. How's that for a tease?
Chung chung.
Then we're going to be joined by Craig Way, the Texas High School Hall of Famer. Joins us every Thursday here on Texas Football Today.
Thursdays.
We'll round it all out with mailbag. So if you got questions about high school football, college football recruiting.
Oh, no. Not week 3. It's week 4.
Romance. Oh, no. It is. It's week 4.
No.
I'm looking at my monitor here. We have a monitor, too.
Ready? And a boom.
Bang. Mailbag. Get your questions in Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We'll answer a few of those at the end of the show if you hang around with us. That sound good? Pot right?
All right.
Do we have first word through the door?
We sure do. I'm going to have to turn all the way over here now.
Oh, this is going to be weird.
Yeah, I've got to like look behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we do though. It was jersey number 69.
Nice.
Tony Blaylock.
Mm-hmm.
Big jiggly water balloons.
Heck yeah.
And Lyle Good.
Wow, that's a real OG.
Fellas, yeah, that's a crew.
That's a real OG.
That is a crew
thing. So we appreciate you guys spending a little bit of your day with us. All right, folks, it is week 4 of the Texas high school football season. It is upon us. Hours from now, we will be watching football on Dave Campbell's Texan Live and really soaking it in. Week 4 of the Texas high school football season has arrived. We're kind of in this weird in between. We're about there's a fair number of bye weeks, fair number of open dates, and there are, of the games that are happening, I would say about 30% of them are district games and 70% are not. So we've got this interesting mix, which is what makes this week of Texas high school football so exciting. We'll start with our top 10 Texas high school football games of the week, starting with number 10. How about this for a little bit of a zig when they zag? Slayton and Post. This is a matchup of undefeated teams and two teams that I think are out there to prove that they are ready for for prime time. This is, I think, a really intriguing matchup because Slayton is one of the hottest teams, I think, to start the year in Texas high school football. One of the real surprises, I think, of the year. Clint Conkin has done a terrific job. This is a team that won just 5 games between 2021 and 2023. They're off to a 3-0 start. Last week, they were dominant in their win over New Deal. They entered week 3, actually, as the highest scoring team in all of 3A Division II. But I thought that the defense last week in their win over New Deal was awfully impressive. Looks very good. A lot of big-time playmakers on the defense. They now get, I think, a test against a known commodity. This is kind of upstart versus known commodity in Post. Post is off to a 3-0 start. The Bold Gold has been terrific. Randon Curtis had 4 touchdown runs. They're kind of a known commodity. This is a team that I think went 13-1 last year. They're the known commodity. But Slayton, I think, is going to be a real opportunity. Remember, that's Slayton 3A against Post 2A. Fascinating ball game. We will find out exactly how for real Slayton is in this one. Slayton and Post, my number 10 game of the week. Number 9, Abilene, Wiley, and Stephenville. We're going to talk with the head coach of the Stephenville Yellow Jackets, Coach Sterling Doty, coming up here in just a moment. And this is a really intriguing matchup because I think that this is two teams that I'm not sure people are paying a ton of attention to. Abilene Wiley is off to a 2-1 start. They lost to Lubbock Monterey in the middle. That's a 5A team. But the next week they pummeled Lubbock Coronado. And overall, consistently, their defense has been excellent. Their defense has been really, really good. The question is going to be what happens when they go on the road to take on Stephenville. I don't think I need to tell you, a known commodity, who's off to a terrific start and 3-0 and dominant. That week 1 win over Midlothian Heritage, I think, has aged pretty well. 28-7, absolutely dominant. And as much as we're going to talk a lot about their defense or their offense, because I think that's what you tend to do when you talk about Stephenville, and their new quarterback, Trot Jordan, pretty great. And their new bell cow running back, Zyler McClendon, both juniors, by the way, have been great. But I think the defense has been the real star of the show. Hudson Butchie and company. That is a Stephenville team that is rolling. It's homecoming at the new stadium out there. Excited to talk with Coach Sterling Doty coming here in a moment. Number 8, Richmond Randall and Fort Bend Marshall. I want to flash it back to last year when we were talking about this game. Because if you remember, last year, we looked at this game as a potential like canary in the coal mine about 5A Division II in Houston. Fort Bend Marshall, the longtime powerhouse down there in Houston in 5A Division II, going up against a relative upstart in Randall. Upstart in the sense that they were new. We knew they were good, but basically how good they were going to be. Well, Randall ends up stuffing Fort Bend Marshall in a locker en route to what ended up being their first state championship game. And Randall's been terrific to start the year. Landon Williams-Callis went off last week. Terrific performance from him. One of the top running backs in the state. I do think this Marshall team is better than they were last year. And I think their defense especially, guys like Cameron Rucker, are better. The offense has been a bit fits and starts. This is a test, I think, for Fort Bend Marshall, this game tonight, to go and kind of reclaim their place in 5A Division II in the Houston area. This is the first of a back-to-back for Randall. It's Marshall this week, and it's Iowa Colony next week. But this is a huge test, I think, for the number 2 team in 5A Division II, the reigning state champs, the Randall Lions. Number 7, Duncanville and Waxahachie. Game 2 for Duncanville here in week 4. We'll finally get another look at them. They've gone week off, play a game. Week off, play a game. And they opened District 11 6A with a real test, I think, because this Waxahachie team is rolling.
They look the part.
They look terrific. Jerry Meyer III, the TCU committed quarterback, is great. They got a strong defense led by Caden Tollison. I like this team a lot. And one of the reasons that I think this game could be really interesting is because we just don't know a ton about Duncanville because we've only seen one game.
And honestly, too, this could be the district championship. Already.
You're exactly right. With DeSoto kind of influx, they certainly got the wheels on back last week.
I think Cedar Hill and DeSoto are a lot more
Cedar Hill, DeSoto, linear. Lancaster, right? Right now, these have been the teams that have looked the most consistently excellent. At least, for Duncanville, we've only seen one game.
And if nothing else, Lancaster plays North Crowley tonight, so we'll get... no, I'm sorry, they play Rockwell.
Yeah.
I take that back.
But we'll find out more about them. We're going to find out more about what this new Oluka offense looks like with Braden Arnold and Maximus Denson for Duncanville. A ton to learn from this one, and a massive game in District 11 6A. Number 6, Cibolo Steele and Austin Westlake. I probably don't need to sell you on this. This is one of those helmet games that, if you're a Texas high school football fan, this is just a big, high-profile 6A game. Westlake finally comes home, right?
Yeah.
They finally...
After weeks on the road.
They spent week 2 driving to San Benito, and then they spent week 3 driving to Humble to go 2-0. Ooh, hello. But this is, I think, a real opportunity for Cibolo Steele to win one for the Alamo City. I look at the Cibolo Steele team, and they graduated really heavy, right? They graduated really heavy, but so far, the new kids on the block, I think, have acquitted themselves really well. New quarterback DJ Green, I think he's played really well. Jonathan Hatton is the known commodity here, and he has been terrific. 7 touchdowns through their first 3 games. How do they handle the Westlake defense? How does the defense handle Reese Wise? This is a kind of a classic matchup of San Antonio versus Austin. Typically, Austin has dominated these types of cross-regional matchups. Can that continue, or can Steele bring a big win back to the Alamo City? It's number 6. Number 5, Hitchcock and Belleville. Another game that might be kind of flying under the radar. But I think this is a game between 2 teams that were at the tip of everybody's tongue recently, but have since kind of fallen back. But I think an opportunity for one of them to kind of jump onto the statewide stage again. Hitchcock, we know, graduated super heavy last year. Graduated a ton of big-time playmakers last year. But they sit at 2-1, a close loss to Hampshire Finette, a 4A team. And they've got wins over Lamarck and Anahuac. I think their offense has really kind of started to take off. Going up against a Belleville team that, don't forget, played for a state championship a couple years ago. 2023 state championship game. And their one loss on the year, they opened the year against Salina, and it didn't go well. That's what tends to happen when you play at Salina. But they bounced back in a really nice way. I thought last week their win over Fort Bend Crawford was really, really impressive. And it does appear that they have gotten both their houses in order as far as the offense and defense is concerned. They are, this is going to stun you, but they are running the dang ball. They got two guys, Travis Turner and Kendrick Turner, who have been terrific. One of these teams is going to walk away from this game feeling pretty darn good as they enter district play. And I'm excited to see it. Hitchcock and Belleville, my number 5 game in the state. Number 4, Tyler, Chapel Hill, and Carthage. How's this for big game? Chapel Hill is off to another team that I think graduated really heavily, but has figured things out on the fly and reloaded on the fly, especially, I would say, on the offensive side, right? That was the real question. But Malik G, their quarterback, has stepped up in a big way. DeMarcion Blaylock is one of the most electrifying players in Texas high school football, hard stop. And I also think that their defense has really stepped up in a big way. Let's see it. Against Carthage on the road in Panola County. And Carthage, after kind of some wobbly starts in their game against Kilgore, whom we'll get to in a moment, has really kind of righted. There was no ship to right, but they've certainly figured things out as far as what they want to look like. I think they're 2-0. They follow up the win over Carthage with a win over Liberty Ilo in dominating fashion. The defense has been beyond reproach. Absolutely terrific. Led by Queefback. And the offense, which was fits and starts in the opener, really started opening things up. And I think that what you started seeing is that they were like, hey, what if we just run the dang ball? And they've started to run the dang ball with Benny Smith and with KJ Edwards. That's where I think they're going to end up winning. Long term. Can this Chapel Hill front hold up against the rushing attack? And can they break through this Carthage defense? Winning in Panola County is tough. Plain and simple. Can they pull off that particular feat? Number 4, Kilgore and Pleasant Grove. Speaking of which, I told you we'd get there. This is a fabulous ball game. And Matt Stepp on TexasFootball.com described it as a rock fight in waiting. Because these two teams are going to be terrific. Kilgore is coming off of one of the most impressive wins in the state, a 66-6 drubbing of Gilmer, and the worst loss for Gilmer in almost half a century. And it was all working for him last week. Defense was terrific. Rayshawn Williams ran for 209 yards. Quarterback Kason Brooks was terrific. They've got the two-way star Lakeelian Graves, Texas State commit. They've been awesome. Well, now they go on the road to Pleasant Grove to take on a team that I think we can install as the chief challenger to Carthage in 4A Division II. And their defense, their front seven, unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's where I think this is going to be really fun, is that Kilgore front up against this Pleasant Grove front seven. And then the offense started figuring things out offensively with Nick Bell as the running back and Colt Yancey, the new quarterback, stepping in. This game is going to be physical. It's going to be mean. It's going to be East Texas football at its finest. Pleasant Grove and Kilgore, my number 3 game of the week. Number 2, Tidehaven and Ganado. 3A versus 2A. It's number 2 Ganado versus number 1 Tidehaven. Two teams have played at AT&T Stadium last year. Or, I'm sorry, in the last couple of years. Ganado is kind of reloaded on the fly. I think that Landon Arriaga, who started a couple games for them last year, quarterback when Bryce Ullman was hurt, has really stepped up. They've got bigger roles for Logan Burris and Austin Pena. And they've just been really strong, I think, overall to start the year. Tidehaven is kind of the opposite. They were the known commodity. They brought back a ton from last year's state semifinals team. And as much as we're going to talk about Cale Russell and Boogie Galvan, to me, the story about Tidehaven has been their defense, which has allowed 14 points through their first 3 games. Bryce Silva, TJ Galvin, they've been great. There's also the final non-district game for these two teams, so they want to end this on a high. And don't forget, last year, Ganado went to Tidehaven and pulled Tidehaven's pants down. Like, they drubbed them. And that was kind of the time when we all sat up and go, ooh, Ganado may have something. Has Tidehaven kept their receipt? We'll find out. Big game tomorrow night in Ganado. But it's not the number 1 game of the week, because the number 1 game of the week is Euless Trinity and Southlake Carroll. District 4-6A title almost certainly on the line here. And another helmet game in that you can just look at the two helmets and be like, I want to watch that. Two storied DFW powers that I think are both returning to their former glory, and both of them doing it in the way that made them famous. Southlake Carroll's slinging the ball around. Angelo Arenda, Brock Boyd. They have been terrific passing the ball. They can also run the ball, by the way. Davis Penn's still back there. But they are going to be really dynamic. Euless Trinity running the dang ball. JT Harris behind a big, mean offensive line. Also, these two defenses have been really good. They've combined to allow just 40 points in their 6 games combined. This is with Caleb Adam leading the way for Trinity, William Chen, the safety for Southlake Carroll. This is for the District 4-6A title. This game is box office. This game is must-see TV. And I love the trench play here. That's going to be fun. The other thing to note, Riley Dodge has never lost a game at Dragon Stadium. Player or coach. He's never lost a game at Dragon Stadium. Can Euless Trinity do what literally nobody's ever done and take command of the District 4-6A race? Massive game. Euless Trinity and Southlake Carroll. My number 1 game of the week. There it is, my top 10 Texas high school football games of the week. You can find a ton of these games on Texan Live, our streaming platform. Like dozens and dozens, an irresponsible number of games on Texan Live this weekend. Make sure you go check that out. We are Texas Football Today. We're here every Monday and Thursday on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. I hope you'll go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. You know all those games we were talking about you can watch? Mm-hmm. You can watch them if you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. It's available for Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscribers. Makes a great gift as well. Give your loved one the gift of football here on a holiday that occurs on September 18th. It's Jason Sudeikis' birthday.
A day that everyone loves to celebrate.
We all love it. Coming up here in just a moment, the head coach of the 3-0 Stephenville Yellow Jackets, Coach Sterling Doty, will talk to us about his big week ahead. But first, a word from these valued partners.
Hello, Candace.
Not you again.
Me again. Remember our last oil change? Your boyfriend said he knew a guy who knew a guy. None of those guys knew what they were doing, including you, Todd.
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch our experts change your oil right from your car.
Thanks for coming in.
And finish in about 15 minutes. Valvoline. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Pour some sunshine with new First Light Community Coffee's first ever light roast. This blend has notes of honey and brown sugar that will brighten any part of your day. Try First Light now at communitycoffee.com.
Friday night football is here, and Hometown is trusted by thousands of schools across the nation to make game days effortless. Sell tickets online, easily scan them at the gate, track sales in real time, and keep your community connected with a free athletic website. Make every game a Hometown game. Visit hometown.com to learn more.
Every legend starts with a vision. For Dave Campbell, that vision was clear. Tell the story of Texas football like never before. In 1960, he built something no one had before, a magazine that became the Bible of Texas football. Coaches, players, and fans didn't just read it, they lived by it. His words shaped the game. His vision built a legacy. And his name? It will always be written in the story of Texas football. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, where legends begin.
Back here on Texas Football Today, big week 4 ahead. Pickle, let's go to the Bology Hotline. And we're pleased to be joined by the head coach of the undefeated Stephenville Yellow Jackets. We're joined by our friend Sterling Doty. Coach, how are you?
Doing great. How are y'all?
We're doing great. I heard you're at special teams walkthrough.
Yes, sir. I was able to sneak out the side gate.
Oh, so let me ask you a question. How the special teams looking?
Looking good. Okay. I tell you, Brighton DeVivo, our punters, pinned in the 1-yard line twice already this year. We hit a 44-yarder last week. So, yeah, looking crisp. Got to clean up some things on kickoff. of course, got Abilene Wiley this week. They take a lot of pride on that unit. So looking forward to getting out there and get some things on tape.
You guys are off to a 3-0 start, and I know that this was a Yellow Jackets team that you were really excited about before the season. Through the first 3 weeks, what do you feel like maybe you've learned about this team that maybe you didn't know before the season started?
Yeah, I think we're really deep offensively at the receiver position, and then up front. Probably the deepest I've ever been in 19 years. So, that bodes well as you go through the course of the gauntlet of non-district that you're going to go through, that we're have gone 3, and then we got 3 more left. And then, defensively, just you can't buy experience. Can't go down there to the hardware store and get it. We got 6 3-year starters out there and playing really well at a high level. And, of course, it comes down to leadership. And so those guys are leading well, and looking forward to a great challenge this week.
I want to do what all coaches love to do and talk about a game you lost. I want to go back to last year, that regional final loss to Canyon West Plains. A tight game, back and forth. West Plains ends up getting the win. There's kind of, in my opinion, there's kind of 2 kinds of coaches. There's coaches who use those things, and then we talk about them constantly. Let's remember how this feels. Let's continue to hammer it home and that. And there's other coaches who kind of take it and say, all right, that happened, we're moving on. Where do you fall? How much have you guys talked about the way last season ended as far as motivating you guys for this year?
I think you use all that, for us in the off season. That's big motivation for those Tuesday morning early weight sessions and getting out there and running in the summer. How you set out for a goal and you accomplish 2 of the 3 of your goals, making the playoffs, winning district championship, and then competing and winning a state championship. We fell short of that goal, so that's been brought up, a lot, like I said, through off season, summer conditioning, all those types of things. But man, once you hit the season, it's just all about the now and the journey that this team's on, and you try to learn from your past, look forward to the future, but really live in the moment.
Talking with Sterling Doty on the Biology Hotline here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, hashtag TF Today. Coach, I do want to focus on your defense. Stephenville made their hay on the offensive side, but right now your defense has been really leading the way and been terrific through the first 3 games. And I want to ask specifically about your front 7, where you've got guys like Colton Dirth, Hudson Butchie, guys who have been terrific. What have you seen from your defense so far? I can look at it and be like, oh, they've only given up 10 points this year. That's good. What have you seen from a coaching perspective about your defense that has you really fired up?
Yeah, I think just a physicality of winning the line of scrimmage. And like you mentioned, you got Colton Dirth up there, C.J. Spellmeyer, who had another great offseason. He ran in down in Austin on a relay team, and he's sitting there. He's a defensive end for us, and our scheme does a great job. Caleb Taylor, Hudson Butchie, you named them. I think physicality, winning the line of scrimmage. We've been tackling well, and really just taking what the offense is wanting to do and make them choose another path. Getting 11 guys to the ball and just playing with a lot of passion. So it's great to see this early in the season, and you just look to continue that every step.
Offensively, your junior quarterback Trot Jordan's coming off of the best game of his young career with 6 touchdown passes in their win over Godley. Being the quarterback at Stephenville's tough. Everyone, all eyes are on you. What have you seen so far from your junior quarterback Trot Jordan?
He's a great competitor, high football IQ, and he prepares well during the week and go out there. And he goes out there on Fridays and leads our football team. And he understands he's got really good weapons around him. So, it's his job to distribute and get the ball where it needs to go to. Mentioned earlier about kind of a surprise. I think, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about just our backfield and Zyler McClendon and Carter Van Zant, sophomore. He's been running the ball really tough downhill. So Trot understands what he has around him, and he's just the manager of that and getting the ball where it needs to go. But, man, he's been a big-time playmaker for us. And I got a little banged up there second quarter against Heritage, limited him the rest of the game, and then he set out for the Everman game, So it's good to get him back out there and gets legs underneath him and leading. And like you mentioned, the 6 touchdowns thrown. Brighton DeVivo, part of that deep receiving core, had 4 touchdowns on the night. So you just look to, continue to build that gel, that mesh between your quarterback and receivers.
And then, of course, Coach, you got a big game this week, taking on Abilene Wiley. It's homecoming there in Stephenville. This is a good Wiley team that's coming to town. And I'm not going to ask you to give away all of your trade secrets, but when you take a look at what you're up against with the Bulldogs tomorrow night, what do you see?
You're always going to see a deep, talented roster when you play these 5A Division II teams, just like we have with, Heritage, Everman, and now we come up on Abilene Wiley. So you see a deep roster, you see talent, great staff. Coach Martin and his group do a really good job of taking what they view as your weakness and attacking that. And so they'll come up with some new schemes and some new things to do against us. And so our guys just got to get out there and go play fast and physical and figure it out here as we go, kind of what they're looking to do to us. But you just want to take a step non-district season, take another step to getting ready to compete and get in that district and win the goal football.
And Coach, I do have to ask you about this, about where you're playing. You're playing at Art Briles Stadium. There, the new beautiful Mike Copeland Field. I know Tarleton has been a great home for you guys, but as a Stephenville guy, what's it like for you to have a place to call your own there in Yellow Jacket country?
I think you really just can't put it into words. And so the community, and you come across so many different folks, grocery store, restaurants, etc., and you just kind of hear their version, right? Mm-hmm. Of growing up and always going and playing at a game at a stadium that's purple and white turf and purple and white everywhere. And Tarleton was a great host, but man, it's just so special. It's like a day like today. We always did special teams walk through there on the grass where we practice at the high school. Now we got an opportunity to bus them over where you're going to play and, get kind of the excitement of getting closer to game day going. So you got the keys to the castle, and I think it really is really special that first week to honor those 2 men and to have their families here with them. Is a very, very special night, and we look forward to playing here the rest of this season and the many, many more seasons to come, along with hosting a lot of great playoff games.
Absolutely will. He is Sterling Doty. He's the head coach of the Stephenville Yellow Jackets on the Ballology Hotline. Coach, we appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the great start, and go get them tomorrow night.
Hey, thank you guys for all you do.
Absolutely. There you go. Sterling Doty, head coach of the Stephenville Yellow Jackets. Join us here ahead of their big game tomorrow night against Abilene Wiley. A non-district finale? No. Do you know who Stephenville plays next week?
Is it the out-of-state team?
No, they play La Vega next week.
Oh,
they play La Vega, and then they play Ruston, Louisiana. So they are going to be fired. They will be tested for sure. And it starts tomorrow night against Abilene Wiley. It'll be an exciting game. We appreciate Sterling Doty taking some time with us. We had Texas Football today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. And this is the portion of the show where we do our Texas High School Ball team builder, picking out players that we are keeping an eye on heading into the week 4 of the 2025 Texas High School Ball season. And normally, we'll be joined by Carter Yates, our senior high school football writer. But this week, got a little something different.
If you stay in bed, if you stay on the couch, if you stay in your comfort zone, if you only do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, if you get up, if you grind, if you are relentless, if you work as hard as possible, when other people are slacking off, your life will be easy.
That's right, folks. It's Greg Powers.
Let's go.
Our director of recruiting. And by the way, that is an Ashley Pickle joint.
That's an Ashley Pickle edit right there.
That's an Ashley Pickle edit. That's a professional editor right there.
It's been over 60 days since I've been on TFT. So
is that right? Boy, that's right. Yeah, because you guys broke away and did your own show. That's cool. I'm happy for you. Happy for you and Mallory. It's rising. You can see that Dave Campbell's rising every Tuesday here at this very time slot, wherever you're streaming us.
That's why he needed such a sick intro, because
Yeah.
like it's not only that he's filling in, but like the return.
The return.
Quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
How nervous is Carter Yates that I'm only drafting offensive linemen?
I think that's going to be bold. I love the idea of being like, you know what? You have to draft a quarterback, so you're going to take like an athletic offensive tackle there. I think that's bold. I've seen your draft board, and I think it's a good one.
So
I picked a guard one week.
Yeah.
we collaborated.
Okay.
You know, Carter's been out of the gate strong the first few weeks. I've supported his picks, and I'm here to support and continue to support those picks into this week.
Okay. Well, if this is your first episode of Team Builder, welcome. This is basically our Texas High School Football Fantasy Draft. We're picking players that we are absolutely fired up to watch this week. And Powers as our special guest.
No, don't do it to me.
I think we can give him pick 1-1. Do you think that's fair?
Man,
Do you think that's
I mean,
fair?
yes,
Yeah.
but Carter's gonna reap the benefits, so that makes me sad. But I'll give it to Powers.
Okay. Powers, you get to have the first pick in this week's Team Builder Draft.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's go.
Give me
Now
Jam-
to remind, everyone has to take a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, a tight end, a team defense, and then we'll round it all out with a wild card pick.
I feel like Carter and I are cheating a little bit with this first round pick.
Oh, yeah?
I'm picking Willis wide receiver Jermaine Bishop.
Okay.
Willis wide receiver Jermaine Bishop with the first pick here. He is an unbelievable two-way star, of course, there at Willis. Committed to the University of Texas, where I think he'll probably play some defensive back over there, but don't be surprised if he gets his hands on plenty of footballs on the offensive side of the ball. How about this stat line from last week? 12 catches for 240 yards and 3 tutties.
Okay.
Longest
Pretty good.
being 62 yards. He also had 5 tackles, 2 solo tackles, and 2 TFLs. Mm-hmm. One of the most dangerous return guys in the entire state.
I think that's a fair pick. It's a fair pick. It's a good pick there. I know you guys have been in the war room figuring out exactly what you guys are going to do with 1-1, and I'm glad that it worked out for you.
Feel good about that.
Pickle, you're up next.
I'm next. I didn't
Yeah.
get to snake last time.
I know. Do you want a snake? You want me to go next?
No, it's fine. I'll go.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. You went after big time commit. I'll go after big time commit too. How about we head down to Cibolo Steel?
Okay.
I'm going running back Jonathan Hatton, the A&M commit. He's averaging 149 yards a game. He's got 7 rushing touchdowns on the year. A known commodity, but most importantly, when they're going to Austin and trying to rep San Antonio, Hatton's going to have a big game. And I think that it would fall on him to do that.
I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, Jonathan Hatton from Cibolo Steel.
That's a good pick. I am going to. So I got 2 picks. I'm going to snake it here. I am going to ride the hot hand. Okay, I'm going to ride the hot hand, and I am going to go with Bastrop quarterback Weston Nielsen.
That's a good pick.
Weston Nielsen, who went for 9 touchdowns last week total in their 70-55 win over Plano Preston, with the number 1 private school team in the state, mind you. And now they open up district play with Austin Crockett. I feel like Weston Nielsen is going to go off in this one. I think he's going to continue to ascend as one of the most electrifying players in Texas high school football. He is my pick for week 1. By the way, 549 yards passing last week was the most passing yards in a season or in a game this season by any UIL 11-man Texas high school player. So I like that one. I'm going to go, so I get to snake it around. I get 2. I am going to take Brenham wide receiver Chris Guidry. Okay? Brenham off to a great start. We had questions about what they were going to look like this week or this year with Jacoby Dixon leaving. They have built the plane out of Chris Guidry. He has been terrific. They're 3-0. They're on the road at Killeen. So far this year, Chris Guidry has 22 catches for 378 yards and 7 touchdowns. No other player on Brenham has more than 7 catches. So they are building the plane out of Chris Guidry. He's my pick at wide receiver. So, Pickle, you are up next.
All right. How about we go? I'm going to go with a quarterback, and I'm going to go small school here. Mm-hmm. My guy, Munster senior quarterback, Kason Carney.
This is a good pick.
Okay. Dude, he is a dude who rocks.
He is a dude rock.
Plain and simple. The stat line, like when you want to talk about a dual threat quarterback, he is the definition of that. 513 yards, 6 touchdowns passing, 460 yards, 6 touchdowns rushing. The guy can do it all. We've known this in there. I mean, obviously we talked a lot about that loss to Holiday, but it was only by 1 score. It was 48-44. They blew through Windthorst last week, which was, a lot more on an even scale, I would say. Huge game where they're punching up again against Pottsboro this week. Excited to watch Casey and Kearney potentially go out there and pull the big upset.
Okay. I think that's a very strong pick there with Casey and Kearney, a state champion quarterback.
I was so nervous that you guys are going to take my next pick.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that you guys had to deal with these nerves as the
I know, right? This is a high pressure situation.
Every time someone goes to make their pick, you hold your breath a little bit.
Everyone thinks that, yeah, exactly right. Because you don't know what's going to happen.
All right, well,
we don't script this.
I get a snake now, right?
You get 2 in a row.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with Carthage running back KJ Edwards versus
we're
Tyler.
Throwing the hits here.
Tyler Chapel Hill.
I can't believe the recruiting guy is taking these
5-star guys.
Now listen, these picks were a collaboration, but when I say collaboration, it means I didn't have anything to do with the picks.
Understood. Yes, absolutely.
Right. I have my marching orders, and I'm following those.
Look at it.
The Whataburger Super Team member, and he was our preseason offensive MVP for all of Texas high school football. And, of course, he's committed to Texas A&M. Big visit to LSU this past weekend, so there's some smoke around his recruitment as LSU and Texas continue to keep the heat turned up on what is I would say he's like the quintessential playmaker in Texas high school football, name everybody knows. And I think this is a big game for them because district's coming up next, so this is where you want to get your highlights right? Playing a good team. And you need to go out and have a good showing, so I'm putting it down on KJ Edwards.
I think that's a good pick. It's a very good pick.
I think Carter wanted to draft KJ Edwards the whole time, but he knew we would roast him, so he made Powers do it.
I think that's probably smart on his part.
That's fair.
We would absolutely roast him.
You really can't roast someone for picking KJ Edwards.
That's probably
because he's
true.
so awesome.
Yes, exactly. All right. You get to snake it. You're now starting out round 3.
I'm going to go with the Temple defense here.
Okay.
I like it.
Led by Jamarion Carlton, committed to Baylor, one of the most elite guys. Jason Bradford, TCU commit. And they're out of the gate strong underneath former Temple QB head coach Chad President. But I think it's a defensive statement this week. And like I said with KJ, this is one of those games you're putting together a good highlight reel. I figure that Jamarion Carlton's going to get 3 sacks this week.
Okay. That's yeah, I think that you're right. As they head into district play, they want to start making statements. I think that Temple defense, which has been great, can level up here. Good pick. Pickle, you're up. I think you've got
wide receiver and defense left. Okay. As y'all know, I try to go with games that I'm really excited to watch, and I think it was your number 2 game of the week, Ganado and Tidehaven. I'm taking Ganado wide receiver Austin Pena. He has been incredibly good, but I think more than anything is he makes this Ganado offense multidimensional, because right now, I mean, we know about superstar running back Logan Burse. He's incredible. So being able to have a wide receiver on the outside that can kind of take away some of those, or can add a receiving threat in there, I think is huge. So I'm really excited to see what he does against the Tidehaven defense that's only allowed 14 points this year.
I think that's a fair point. That's a good pick there as you take Austin Pena there at Ganado. All right, I've got 2 picks here. I'm going to start with my defense, and I'm going to go up to the Panhandle. I think this is a big week for Amarillo Palo Duro. Amarillo Palo Duro, whose defense has been terrific, takes on Amarillo in a massive, massive game. Their defense, even their one loss to Tascosa, they lost 10-0. Okay? Their defense has been terrific. Kamaj Barnes leading the way. They've got who's the stud horse they've got that plays both ways for them? Darian Lewis, is that right? Darian Lewis at Palo Duro. He's a dog. I think the defense steps up in a big rivalry game, the oldest rivalry in Amarillo. I think you go with the unit that is the strongest there, and that is the Palo Duro defense. I think they shine on the big stage.
Lewis committed to North Carolina. Anytime somebody's committed to Bill Belichick, they can probably play some defense.
My guess is they're probably okay. Yeah, he's probably an okay guy. My fourth and final pick, before we get to the wild card. I'm going to go a little bit off the board for my running back here. You know what? No, I'm going to save him for my wild card. I'm going to be smart. Yeah, I'm trying to be a little bit. I'm trying to be a little bit.
You're scheming.
I'm scheming. I'm going to go to Landon Williams Callis at Richmond Randall. Okay. the guy's coming off of a 6-touchdown performance last week. They got a huge game, district opener against Fort Bend Marshall. It's been a great Fort Bend Marshall defense. They will need Landon Williams-Callis to be special. And if he is special, then they have an opportunity to go a very long way. I like LWC, Landon Williams-Callis, to be my running back there. So that's me playing the hits there. Pickle, what's your pick? You've got to take a defense. There you go.
Speaking of playing the hits, I'm going to stick in 2A because I've just been living in 2A.
Yeah.
The Albany Lions defense.
Mm-hmm.
Give me that. I'll take 2 of them.
Give me that.
They are +7 in the turnover margin. On the year, they have 9 interceptions and 5 forced fumbles. I mean, that's insane. That secondary looks great. The defensive line looks great. The whole defensive front 7 looks fantastic. But in a year where we didn't know how good the Albany offense was going to be, their defense has worn the cape. So, yeah, give me the Lions.
Okay. That's a very good pick. I like that. Powers, you get to round it out here.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and announce the quarterback pick here.
Okay.
And it's Lorena 2027 QB Jackson Blanchett.
Okay.
6'4", 205 pounds. This is a former wide receiver, moved to quarterback. He was the offensive newcomer of the year last year. They've played some pretty tough teams out of the gate. But I think the one thing that you can count on is that they're going to score around 40 points.
Yeah.
Right? Shout out to Cameron Phillips, another guy who had 9 touchdowns last week. It was a tough pick here, but I'm going to go with Jackson Blanchett.
Okay. That's a very good pick there at Lorena. And so does that rounds us out? That wraps up the
do not steal my wild card powers.
So it's now time for the wild card pick.
I will yell at Carter through you.
And Greg Powers gets to have what could be the most controversial wild card pick. You can pick any position, any player.
First, I don't know who your wild card pick is.
Mm-hmm.
Carter tries to get it through osmosis.
Yeah, he does.
I'm going with Kellen Husband.
Okay.
Shepherd.
Okay.
Fullback.
Oh,
let's go.
Let's go, Yates.
How about this stat line? Here's a guy who had 9 pancake blocks last week and 65 yards rushing. And I think I should petition the committee now.
Yeah.
Pancake blocks are worth as much as TDs.
Ooh, dude, I'm in on it.
Pancake blocks are worth half as much as. Let's get half as much.
I agree with that.
Like a field goal.
Yeah. It's like I'm on board. It should be worth a point.
This dude's the district champion in the shot put, and he was a state qualifier in powerlifting. So for my final pick, not of the cap. Here's a guy, Kellen Husband.
He does have a rushing touchdown on the year too for Shepherd.
There you go.
Man, I'm in Carter's head now. He's over there counting pancake blocks just like I was.
Yeah.
I'm living in his head rent free.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Pickle, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna not go as in depth on this one. How about Henrietta, sophomore running back? If you haven't heard of him, his name is Cruz Coleman. He also plays defense. He's averaging 192 yards rushing and 7 touchdowns, 32 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, and a kick return. His older brother Cooper is actually the star wide receiver for the Bearcats. But I am very excited to see what he does tonight. Against Lamesa.
That's a big game.
Yeah.
Big
so
game.
Henrietta running back, Cruz Coleman.
So there's a lot of great.
I think you're doubling down on a QB on your wild card pick.
I'm not. I'm going running back here.
Okay.
I'm going running back, and I am going to go. There's 2 options. I'm going to go with Kenneth Johnson from Gerald. This is a guy who last week led a 790-yard rushing attack in their win over Caldwell. He ran for 391 yards himself, which is the most in a game this year. Gerald has been hotter than a firecracker this year. I don't know who stops them, and I'd be very, very afraid of anybody who is in front. Let's find out who Gerald is playing this week. Gerald is playing. This is embarrassing. Gerald is hosting the Llano Yellow Jackets.
Wow.
Sting 'em.
Wow.
Get ready for that jacket defense.
Shots across the bow.
So we will see if they can find a way to slow down Kenneth Johnson from Gerald.
That is something that I'm nervous about. Full transparency. Concerned.
Look, let's Craig Way. We're about to have him on the show. He asked me when I was on his show on Tuesday. He goes, "How much attention have you paid to the 3A Division I rankings?" I'm like, obviously a lot. He goes, "So Franklin is number 1 in the state. They play Salina this week.
Yep.
It's a tough game.
Scary hours.
Scary hours, right? The number 2 team in the state is Llano.
Sting 'em.
So, yes, folks, there is a universe where we are in here on Monday, and Ashley Pickle is sitting here experiencing something I don't think anybody in this office has ever experienced, which is their alma mater being the number 1 team in the state.
Ooh, is there? Yeah.
Has Wimberley ever been number 1?
Well, if they let somebody
Wimberley
rush
has
for
definitely
790,
been number 1.
Maybe not when Kimmy was working here, though.
That's fair.
It's fair. I don't know.
What did you
they
say,
have to
Powers?
stop that 790. If they let somebody rush for 790,
I know.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's
it's going to be hard to be
exactly
number 1.
right.
So, like, this is your pick versus
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
All
all
the
I'm-
Llano defense,
All
right?
I'm doing is getting Jonathan Brooks flashbacks of the last time
I
I
know.
sat here going like, oh, Llano could actually do it, and then we got Jonathan Brooks.
You could be running into the Kenneth Johnson train. Anyway, there it is, our team builder.
Let's go, Carter. We got this.
Powers, how'd that feel?
Boo.
Felt good.
Felt good?
Yeah.
Felt good?
I don't like booing Powers.
Yeah, I know.
But I
Yeah,
love
why
booing
are you?
Carter.
But
Oh, because they're Carter's picks.
They're Carter's
I'll allow
picks.
it.
Yeah, I have to boo, but I hope you know it's not directed at you.
when you consider that he is just a proxy for Carter Yates,
Yes.
that'll help you.
Then I'm allowed to
allow
boo.
Exactly right. Greg Powers sees fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting, and of course, see him every Tuesday. Dave Campbell's Rising, and I believe you're on the Dave Campbell's Rising game of the week tonight, right?
Yeah, it's a big one. Rockwall at North Crowley. Tons of D1 prospects. In 3 weeks that we've been doing this, we've seen 16 FBS commits and underclassmen in the classes of 27 and 28 who have over 150 offers.
Oh my gosh.
Good Lord.
And I don't know. Boy, I wish I could watch it. Is there anywhere to watch it?
Yeah, you can stream it on Dave Campbell's YouTube channel or TexanLive.com
Wow. For free?
for free.
That's amazing. Hear Greg Powers call that game tonight. Powers, we appreciate you taking a little bit of time for us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We are Texas Football today. We're here Mondays and Thursdays on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbells, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Got a lot cooking in the stew here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Check out TexasFootball.com. A lot of good content up there right now. Pickle, let's go to the hotline. We are pleased to be joined, as we are every Thursday, by the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. It is our friend Craig Way. Mr. Way, happy Thursday to you.
And the same to you two as well. I'm ready for the weekend.
I have a question.
Oh, we go to Ashley Pickle.
Yeah.
Question.
How was your birthday? It was Tuesday.
It was. It was Tuesdays, if you like to say it. Yeah. It was good. It was a good birthday and made me thankful and excited for everything that's going on. And yeah, I'm all about this. Now I have a question for you, Pickle.
Yes.
I asked Pepper this question: if by some way that it happens that Franklin is not able to beat Salina, and Llano should happen to win its game, should Llano be number 1 in the state next week in the poll?
I, who has no say in that, believe that they should. And I will also be absolutely insufferable to Greg Tepper if that happens.
As if you weren't already, but that's good.
Correct. We can always do better. We can always strive to be better.
Yeah, we're just getting 10% better.
And for the record, he agreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not?
I did.
Did you not
did
say
agree.
Yellow Jackets would be number 1?
I did agree, and we were actually talking about this. I don't know if there's ever been a moment in which somebody, an alumnus of a school, has seen their school ascend to the number 1 spot in a poll. The closest we have, our friend Kimmy Gooding, who went to Wimberley. I'm not sure she worked here the last time Wimberley was number 1. So we are in scary hours around here with potentially Llano being number 1. Yes. Okay. So Craig Way, your other gig besides being a Texas High School Football Hall of Famer is that you host a radio show down there in Austin on AM 1300 The Zone, the eponymous Craig Way Show, and you are the voice of the Texas Longhorns. My question for you: how much of talking fans off the ledge have you done this week down there in Austin, both on your show and generally when you're walking out on the street and people know that you are the voice of the Texas Longhorns?
Well, I've endeavored to do that, Tep. Problem is, a lot of them already jumped. There's several have already said, "Yeah, I'm out on this." and went leaping off the ledge in advance. Remember the Beckett play, waiting for Godot? Well, there's been a lot of waiting for Godot around here. Folks are waiting to see Godot, being Arch Manning, of course. And, when's he going to, launch into it and get going? And talking to Steve Sarkisian about it, and Sark and I did his radio show last night, and he said, this is all interwoven and interconnected to complete the obvious passes. The receivers have to run the obvious routes and do the right thing. Additionally, Sark has to make the right throw. The protection's got to be the same, because it isn't all one piece. The problem is, and he fully understands and accepts this and mentioned it as well, is that the quarterback, being the centerpiece of it, is going to draw the attention. And when there are some obvious throws where a receiver does look to be open and the protection is there and the ball gets thrown behind him or overthrown or dirt or whatever, then, folks are definitely going to be a little more anxious about that. And Sark says he gets it. He understands that. By the same token, he believes that it's no big deal, that this is more about all of those elements, plus in the individual sense, things like foot placement and perhaps stepping up a little too quickly in the pocket. There's lots of little nuanced things that go into this. And Arch, for his part, said this week, it's mental. It's not physical, it's mental. I gotta make sure my mind's right on some of this. So he's been really upfront about it all, saying, look, I got to be better. I hadn't played well. So at least there's that.
I do want to ask you, to Craig Way, the Texas Football Hall of Famer, joins us every Tuesday, or Thursday, rather, on Texas Football Today. Now you got me.
Thursdays.
Yeah, but it used to be Tuesdays, and you already mentioned it earlier. Okay. The last week, you were on the call for South Oak Cliff and Longview, with South Oak Cliff coming away with an impressive victory to round out their non-district schedule. I am curious, now looking back on what you saw, what your impressions were of what you saw. Both those teams, I think, we consider to be in the upper echelon in their respective divisions. 5A Division II for South Oak Cliff and Longview in 6A. What did you see from the booth there about both of those teams?
Well, first of all, with regard to Longview, I think they're going to be fine. How many times did you and I and Pickle have this conversation, or you and I and Aaron Hardigan on the television show in past years, look at a 1-1 or even an 0-2 Longview team and say they're going to be fine, and they get it worked out, and they do. And that was kind of the case last year. There is a different dynamic, obviously, with Coach King not out there with them at the moment, coming off his surgery. But I would say that they seem to pick up right where they left off with Coach Wilson. I don't think I don't think they're missing. They miss not having their head coach, but I don't think they're missing anything tactically or strategically by having Coach Wilson guide those guys. So there's that. They've also got some guys banged up. I think they'll be fine. You know what's most impressive about South Oak Cliff? Resiliency. They shake off, shrug off, and let stuff run off their back when they make a mistake. And they make mistakes. And Jason Todd is hilarious about some of that. And he's like, hey, these guys are good. They know what they're doing, but sometimes they don't do the right thing. But he's got faith in them. And I think they feed off of all of that. And even some of the younger players get it. They understand it. So they're for real again. It won't surprise me at all if they're back in the 582 title game for a fifth straight year. Now we know how perilous that minefield is going through Region 2, and even really on into the semifinals and up to the finals. But I think they're fit for the task if it comes about.
And then this week, the hits keep on coming. You're going to be on the call for Pleasant Grove and Kilgore, two teams in the 4A ranks that are really making waves. Of course, Kilgore played for a state championship last year. Pleasant Grove currently the number 2 team in our 4A Division II rankings, and in our opinion, the chief challenger to Carthage for the 4A Division II crown. What are you most looking forward to seeing in this matchup between the Hawks and the Bulldogs?
You can break it down a lot of ways, but I think the most obvious one is going to be the Pleasant Grove defense against that Kilgore offense. And how explosive can they be? And they were very explosive. That was a scary good performance against Gilmer last week for Kilgore. But to be able to do that again or be effective against a Pleasant Grove defense that is just racking up tackles for losses and sacks and negative plays. That, I think, is the crux of this one, and that's what I'm most looking forward to.
It's Craig Way, the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer, and now it's time for the meanest thing we do to each other each week. And I'm going to take out the game that you're calling, Pleasant Grove and Kilgore, because I know you're really excited about that one. But you can teleport.
I recuse myself from that one.
Exactly right. You can recuse yourself, Kirk Herbstreit style. My question for you, of these 3 games, which are you teleporting to if you have the opportunity? Are you teleporting to Ganado to watch Tidehaven and Ganado? Are you teleporting to Southlake for Euless Trinity and Southlake Carroll? Or, and I'm going to do what you wouldn't do on Tuesday because I'm meaner than you, are you teleporting to Thorndale for Gordon, a 1A Division I team, a 6-man team, going on the road and taking on a pretty good Thorndale team playing 11-man ball? Which of those 3 games are you teleporting to?
You know, I thought about that one an awful lot after you and I talked about that game. And I did think to myself, I could have offered him that game, but I thought I'd move it out only because it almost falls into exhibition category, but it's not. It's a non-district game, but I think I probably would. Now, I do want to see how for real Euless Trinity is. And we're going to get a good measuring stick, obviously, playing this Carroll team that I think, and I even asked you, how good are they? We talk about them every year and what they have, the explosivity on offense with Brenda and all the rest of the guys, and then on defense. But Trinity seems to be back toward how they were several years ago. I am curious about that. But curious is the word when it comes to Thorndale and Gordon. We had a really nice piece on the telecast about everything that Gordon has gone through, the community and the school last week. But I think I would probably opt for that if I could. Now, I will add what I added for you last week. The way they've got that thing, playing 11-man and playing the 100-yard field, we just have to make sure that Striker Reed doesn't stop at the 10-yard line if he gets open down there thinking it's the goal line in an 80-yard field. Other than that, I think they're fit for the time because they've got talented guys. There's the adjustment to playing to the 11-man game, which is a different game. I've always said that. It doesn't make the 6-man game any less entertaining. It's just a different game. So we'll see how Gordon can adjust to it.
He's Craig Way. He's the Texas High School Football Hall of Famer. You hear him on the Craig Way Show, the eponymous show on AM 1300 The Zone in Austin. Hear him on the call for the Texas Longhorns as well. And you can hear him on the call for Kilgore and Pleasant Grove with our friends at Victory Plus on Friday night. Coach.
He probably could be at this point.
No. I think Craig and I are both in alignment there that coaching is probably not in our wheelhouse.
The only coaching that I do is trying to get my kids and grandkids to all get along. That's the only coaching I'm really suited for these days. Everything else is just show up and be, as they say, of the radio sorts of talking dog, and that's me.
Craig, appreciate your time, my friend. Have a good call tomorrow.
All right, we'll see y'all. Take care.
There he goes, Craig White, the Texas High School Hall of Famer, joins us every Thursdays on the Texas Football Today. Let's round all this out by taking some mailbag questions. That's right. Get your questions in high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel. Get them in on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all of those places. We'll answer a few of them right about now.
So Carter Yates's article of the surprising 3-0 teams, how about we flip that and go, what are the most surprising 0-3 teams?
Well, surprising is interesting. It's a good way to frame it because there are teams that are 0-3 that I'm not sure that I would classify necessarily as surprising. And what I mean by that is maybe they played a non-district schedule that was really tough, right? And that's something that I don't think they necessarily need to apologize for. For example, I'll give you an example, is that Holland is 0-3. I still think Holland's a pretty good team. I think they played a tough non-district schedule. I'm not giving up on them. El Paso Montwood is another team that I think is pretty good, played a tough non-district schedule. As far as surprising, I'll give you a couple. One of them's Corpus Christi Miller. Corpus Christi Miller's 0-3. Last week, they played DeSoto last week, and DeSoto got out some frustrations. That's a 6A over a 5A. DeSoto looked great. Miller looked out of sorts. The issue for me is that Miller hasn't been able to get the wheels on offensively. Mm-hmm. That's something that I've got concerns about. That's a surprising 0-3. I would put Liberty Ilo in that mix. We knew that when they lost their star receiver, when he transferred out into Quan Prevo, when he transferred to a school and moved to Arkansas, that there were going to be some concerns. I didn't necessarily see 0-3 there. Glen Rose at 0-3 is surprising. Remember, I maintain that over the last 5 years, Glen Rose might be the most underappreciated team in Texas high school football.
They almost beat Carthage in the semi.
Every year they're playing deep in the playoffs. 0-3 is uncharacteristic for them. That's a team that I'm surprised at. The other one would be there are two more. Klein Kane at 0-3. The defense has just not been up to snuff, and that's something that I didn't necessarily see coming. The other one would be Dangerfield. Dangerfield at 0-3. They're kind of teetering in the sense that they played a tough non-district schedule, but I'm not sure they've looked like in their losses. I don't think they've looked very good. They haven't been like good losses. They've been unfortunately disappointing losses, and so I would say at 0-3, that's a surprising team at 0-3. So those are a handful of teams at 0-3 that I've been surprised by. What's next, Pickle?
Can anyone in 5A Division II match up to Sock?
Yes. Like I don't know. Okay. So I want to be very clear. We have South Oak Cliff number 1 in our rankings, and I think what South Oak Cliff has shown against Longview, against Galena Park North Shore, against Duncanville is really impressive. Really impressive. We're also about to forget about them for about 9 weeks because they're about to go into district play and they're going to mollywop everybody. I think Richmond Randall is a big problem. I don't think people are talking enough about Port Neches Groves within their own region. I think they don't, I think Brenham is a problem. I think Iowa Colony is a problem. I think Argyle's a problem. I don't think this is some Sock runaway right now. Mm-mm. They've looked great. Like we've talked a lot about how great they've looked. But there are real threats to them within their own region, like Port Neches Groves, who got an awesome win against LaPorte last week. And a team that might play in a semifinal, like Argyle, right? Argyle, Melissa, Anna. We'll find out more about Anna this week when they play Lovejoy, right? Lovejoy in that mix too. Timberview, who I think is dangerous. And then in a title game, if they were to get there, Randall or Brenham or Iowa Colony or Alamo Heights, who's 3-0. I think that 5A Division II is like they have looked terrific, and I'm taking nothing away from South Oak Cliff. I hope we've been clear about our praise of South Oak Cliff. But I don't think 5A Division II is some runaway. I think there are some real landmines out there that is going to make the 5A Division II playoffs really fun. I don't think South Oak Cliff hoisting a trophy in Arlington on December 20th is some foregone conclusion. So yeah, it's easy to get excited and understandable. They have looked terrific, but to me, Randall, P&G, Brenham, Iowa Colony, Alamo Heights, Argyle, all threats. All threats. You got one more?
Yeah, what's your favorite cut of steak?
I am I'm a sirloin guy.
Okay.
But I also I don't know. I'm kind of an equal opportunity steak lover. I don't like a T-bone.
I was just fixing to say, I tend to, if I go to a steakhouse, I tend to get the New York strip because I feel like it's one of the larger cuts of meat that you can get because you're not sitting there fighting the bone.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to work. Like, it's great. They come out, they look huge, and then you realize how much of the bone actually takes up.
Yeah, the New York strip is a go-to. My wife is a filet mignon fan. She's overall not a steak person, but she likes the filet mignon because it's very tender.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't go wrong with
ball of steak.
Correct. But to me, I want some more steak.
Yes.
So I agree. The New York strip is probably the way I go, but I like a sirloin as well. I'm equal opportunity in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I'm not going to turn it down,
Give me a
to be fair.
porterhouse.
Like, I'll eat any of those. I just prefer not to have to fight a bone, especially if you're, like, dressed up.
Yeah.
Just feels like a lot of room for error.
Speaking of dressed up, tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. right here at this very desk on this very network, you can watch the after party with those two good-looking folks.
Dweebs. One dweeb.
It's Dave Campbell's Texas
Take your
Football
pick.
Tonight, the Friday night show to recap the Texas high school football weekend. We've got scores. We've got highlights. We've got analysis. We've got big-time coaches joining us live. Wherever you're streaming us right now, you can stream for free. It's Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, 10:30 p.m. tomorrow night. Wherever you stream, make sure you come and hang out with us. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell. Follow us on Instagram. I got to get out of here. Instagram.
Oh, my God.
And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Thanks again to Sterling Doty, the head coach of the Stephenville Yellow Jackets, Craig Wave, Texas High School Hall of Famer, and our Director of Recruiting, Greg Powers, for being our guests. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. We will see you tomorrow night on Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, 10:30 p.m., wherever you stream.